Hey, it's me, Vicki Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. So, just another update on the Julia Wandelt trial, who is accused, her and Karen Spragg, of course, accused of stalking the McCanns. I can't see how this verdict is going to come back anything but guilty, to be honest. And I think these two ladies are looking at prison time. Very silly women. But anyway, I just want to report to you the latest, and it's all about DNA testing. So, first of all, I want to read you an article where Julia claims to have 70% DNA match with the McCanns. So, that's the first thing I want to do. Just so that's sort of where we were before these women were arrested and went into prison. Madeleine McCann impersonator claims she's 70% DNA match for the Miss in Britain. A Polish woman claims she had an almost 70% match. Now, I just want to say that surely we all know that is not enough anyway, because you're going to have a match. Whoever you test with, you've probably got some match. But 70%, normally DNA, you get these sort of 1 in a billion, 99.9% certainties. 70% is not enough. Anyway, this is what she originally claimed in messages to the missing girl's mother. A court heard that the woman, Julia, told Kate, "You are my mother. It's science. No one can deny it." The woman from Lubin in southwest Poland is on trial at Leicester Crown Court after being accused of stalking Mrs. McCann and her husband Gerry between June 2022 and February 2025, as well as her supporter Karen Spragg from Cardiff. So the court heard that Julia sent dozens of text messages and left a litany of voicemail messages on the phone. Now, we've seen a lot of the voicemail messages. I'm just going to put a picture of these two up. We have seen the voicemail messages or heard them as I've been going through the trial. And some of them, I think they're very distressing. Must have been terrible for Kate. Anyway, jurors heard voicemail messages left by Wandelt on Mrs. McCann's phone over a number of months when she claimed Madeleine was not dead. And the jurors also heard she sent messages where she claimed her DNA was a 69.23% match to samples from the crime scene contained within the police files in Portugal investigating Madeleine's DNA disappearance. And in messages to Mrs. McCann, she urged the mother to agree to an official DNA test to prove she was her daughter, and Wandelt said she would set up a GoFundMe to pay for the test. Jurors heard she explained that differences between her and Madeleine's appearance was due to her being ugly and fat because of medication I was given. In voicemail messages, Julie spoke in a strong Polish accent and became emotional. Now, so she sent so all these messages were concentrated on Kate. And this is what I was talking about in a previous video. Strange that she wasn't, concentrating on Gerry. Gerry wouldn't have even given the time of day. But Kate, she picked on Kate because Kate is the more vulnerable one. And all this calling her mummy and stuff, I just find it really manipulative. Especially with 69% DNA match is not a match. Anyway, she's deluded, this girl. She has been on medication. She has been under treatment, mental health issues. I feel for her parents as well, her real parents, because, she just doesn't want to be their daughter for whatever reason. She wants to be anybody else's daughter. She's tried to claim to be two other missing girls before Madeleine. So she's just desperate to be somebody else, isn't she? And, you can tell she's got a lot of self-loathing, which is a shame. But, just because you've got a lot of self-loathing or you've been through a bad time doesn't mean you can make, subject other people to it. It's not right, is it? And of course, don't forget stalking Amelie, she was as well, and Sean, who are now adults in their own right. But what have they done that they should get all this upset? Isn't it enough being the sibling of the most famous, probably the most famous missing child? Anyway. So in voicemail messages, she spoke in a strong Polish accent and became emotional. She begged Kate for a DNA test, telling her she was her daughter, and claimed to remember attempting to shout out "Mummy" and "Daddy" on the night Madeleine was abducted. Now listen to this. So jurors were told that on one occasion, Wandelt sent a message every 2 seconds, with 5 messages coming in 7 seconds to Mrs. McCann's phone. And then it gets even worse. One distressing message saw the Polish woman claim she had been RAPD'd on May the 12th last year, which coincidentally is Madeleine's birthday. Now, I don't know if she was RAPD'd or not, and if she was, I'm so sorry for that happened to her. But just again, it's another layer of manipulation and, making, it's not Kate's fault, is it? As I've said, whatever we think happened that night with Madeleine, whatever you think of Kate, whatever you think of Gerry, this is not right. She sobbed loudly and left the dock when another message sent to Mrs. McCann was read out to the court about her being abused. I was RAPD'd and molested underground. I saw other children being abused so badly. You can stop this torment. You can help me, she said. If you don't want me to be depressed, talk to me. That's a threat, isn't it? Talk to me. It's all your fault. I know science can't lie, and I know I am your daughter. And an earlier message included Julia saying, I was trying to shout Mummy and Daddy. I could not say anything. I could not shout. I could not do anything. A further voicemail included the Polish woman asking, what if I'm her? Before claiming that Madeleine was not dead, and I really believe I'm her. Help me. Don't think Madeleine is dead, she said. There is a chance. Please, I beg you. So the court had previously heard that Julia called and messaged Mrs. McCann more than 60 times in a single day in April last year. And it also heard that Spragg had sent an email to Mrs. McCann claiming that Wandelt's DNA matched Madeleine's. So that was what she had to say about the DNA. 60% match, which of course is, even if that's true, is not enough, is it? Definitely is not enough. So now let's hear what the police had to say during this trial. And it turns out DNA has been done when Julia was arrested. According to the police, let's have a look. A DNA test has been done, and it was negative. So Madeleine's disappearance. Gosh, this is the little girl frozen in time, isn't it? She's frozen in time on that holiday. We'll never see another photo of her again. Madeline's disappearance at the age of 3 in Portugal in 2007 is one of the most widely reported child cases and remains unsolved. Miss Wandelt, who the court has heard since 2022, so don't forget, before 2022, Julia was not claiming to be Madeleine. She was claiming to be two other girls. And then her co-defendant, Mrs. Spragg, they deny stalking the McCanns, causing serious alarm and distress. In December 2024, Detective Chief Inspector Mark Cranwell decided Operation Grange, the name of the force's investigation into Madeleine's disappearance, should attempt to get Miss Wandelt's DNA tested in the hope she may stop her behaviour towards the McCann family. He said, "It weighed heavy on my mind. The threshold remained the same, but it was outside the framework." DNA samples were then taken on arrest, the court heard. Now, why they haven't said this before, I don't know, whether it's because it's pertinent to the case that was coming up. But, this is what people have been clamouring for ages, isn't it? They've been clamouring for it. It conclusively proved that Julia Wandelt is not Madeleine McCann. And Miss Wandelt, being Madeleine, was then ruled out of the Operation Grange investigation after Miss Wandelt contacted them. She had already been ruled out after she contacted them and Glenfield Hospital in Leicester, where Mr. McCann works, in June 2022. But after press coverage of Miss Wandelt's claim gained traction later that year, a photo of her was sent to the McCanns with their family liaison officer, Detective Sergeant Roger Bean, saying via statement they both replied they were confident it was not their daughter. And details of the Met Police's discussions about Miss Wandelt were detailed to the court, from initial contact to the press conference coverage, to Mrs. McCann being bombarded with calls and texts. So in September 2024, the McCanns were asked if they wanted to pursue some sort of action. Gosh, that was a Freudian slip, wasn't it? But said words of advice would not be advisable, as Miss Wandelt had previously recorded a call with an Operation Grange officer and played it on a true crime podcast on YouTube. No formal action was asked for at that time. I mean, Kate and Gerry, they don't do any interviews now, do they, or anything like that? They probably just now, of course, especially because the twins are older, probably just want to, don't want publicity in that sense. Miss Wandelt claimed to be Madeleine, pursued the McCann family with messages, calls, visits, including turning up at their home and demanding a DNA test, the court has heard. In October, Detective Sergeant Spurtman's statement said that messages from Miss Wandelt had continued, as well as two from a Welsh-sounding woman, which was obviously Karen. Professor Michael Duck, remember Michael Duck, said Mrs. Spragg struck up a relationship with Miss Wandelt and supported her claims and conspiracy theories, and confronted, alongside the Polish national, confronted the McCanns directly in December 2024. And this article, I just need to tell you, I'm reading from the BBC website, just so it's not me. This is an article that I'm reading out. So Mrs. Spragg recorded a message she left on Mrs. McCann's phone in late 2024 prior to their visit to the McCann's home, and that was played at the trial on Tuesday. She said people believed there was a cover-up and that the McCann's names had been blackened, and urged the couple to do a DNA test with Miss Wandelt. She can be heard saying, "I really, really want you to take her seriously if you really want to find your daughter. This could be a cover-up. Maybe Operation Grange is in on it." Sorry, just crazy. So, Anyway, a crime report was created by the Met Police after Miss Wandelt and an older woman turned up at the McCann's house in December 2024. And Miss Wandelt was arrested in February 2025 after returning to the UK. Now, I'm sure it said, oh, maybe I'm on the wrong. Yeah, so apparently she was given a DNA test when she was arrested, and she wouldn't accept it, you know. So when they arrested her in February, they gave her a DNA test. According to the court, what's come out in court. Apparently, the DNA samples prove conclusively that she is not Madeleine McCann. So, and she was told this while she was in prison. And she just won't accept it, even now, you know, since she's been in prison and she's had this DNA test. And the DCI said 13 people, I'm reading now from I think it's is it the Guardian? I've changed articles. Yeah, the Guardian. He said that 13 people had previously claimed to be the missing girl, but he said we would not take DNA unless we believed the person was Madeleine, because I didn't want to set a precedent. Yeah, you can imagine, it's like I'm Spartacus, isn't it? You know, everybody coming along wanting a DNA test just for the attention. If it became known in the media I'd taken DNA off an individual quite likely not to be Madeleine, I was concerned I would have had a lot of people coming forward saying I'm Madeleine. I genuinely have major concerns about approaching the family to say I intend to take DNA that could have raised their hopes. It could have been quite emotionally damaging and difficult for the family. He said they had already judged her not to be Madeleine due to the lack of resemblance, and she's 2 years older. She's 2 years older than Madeleine. You know, and, you know, I know a few of you have left messages saying you think they look alike, and sisters don't necessarily look alike anyway. But personally, I can't see that there's any resemblance, but apart from the hair, really. Yeah, so they decided that he should attempt to get DNA tested just to stop this behaviour. So, sorry, I moved on to another one there. So he said that after finding out that Leicester police planned to arrest Wandelt on stalking charges, he made the decision that the DNA should be taken upon arrest, and a comparison took place, and it conclusively proved that Julia Wandelt is not Madeleine McCann. And she was told she is not. He visited her in custody this year, and he told her clearly, you are not Madeleine McCann. And she then still carried on. She said, do you really want to find Madeleine? He said yes. And he said he believed that Julia would suggest we have tampered with the sample. I mean, sometimes with someone who's got mental health issues, it doesn't matter what you do, what you say, they will always twist it, won't they? And he said there's a possibility she would never accept she isn't Madeleine, even when provided with scientific proof. And, you know, they were planning on going through the bins and getting something to get DNA. They had all sorts of plans. Anyway, there we have it. Julia Wandelt is not Madeleine McCann. I think that's what most of us knew. But of course, there's always that little bit of doubt. And, you know, most people say, just do a DNA test, do a DNA test, get it over it. Well, there you go. A DNA test has been done. Julia Wandelt has been proven conclusively not to be Madeleine McCann. As soon as she was arrested, a DNA test was done. This has come out in the trial. She's not Madeleine McCann, but she still will not accept it. I think this woman is going to prison. I think, well, they've been in prison, or at least Julia has. I think they're heading for a custodial sentence. You know, and they deserve it, because stalking is wrong. Whatever, it is wrong. And the way she's targeted Kate in particular, because she knows Kate is the vulnerable one, and the way she's targeted Emily and Sean, you know, and notice like Jerry's just not having anything to do with it. So anyway, okay, I thought I'd let you know that news. Thank you for watching. Do you think Julie will ever accept it? And the other thing I want you to tell me, if you know, what you think about, will this be a guilty verdict? And what sentence? I will be probably putting some sort of a poll together. I want to know whether you think it will be a guilty verdict, and whether or not you think what you think the sentence either will be or should be. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, the trial continues, and I'll keep you updated. Thanks for watching. See you soon in the next video. Until then, may your God go with you. Bye.